Please unmute yourself.
This is indeed a great privilege for me to welcome everyone in this August session. Welcome to our valedictory session come award ceremony of the first annual conference of Heritage Society entitled Global Heritage Conclave 2022 being organized by Heritage Society in collaboration with Siddharth University Kapilvastu and CCRT Ministry of Culture, New Delhi. On behalf of the conference organizing committee and the moderator of this session, I bid everyone a warm welcome and extend my sincere greetings to all our distinguished guests. I take this opportunity to first of all welcome our Chairperson, Sir, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Siddharth University, Kapilvastu. I also take this opportunity to welcome our distinguished guest of honor, Professor Hemlata Mohan, Madam, Chairperson CCRT, who is joining us online. I welcome our distinguished guest, Dr. B.R. Mani, sir, former Vice Chancellor, National Museum Institute. Professor Mani, sir, is connected with us online. I also welcome our distinguished guest of honor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Northeastern Hill University, Ceylon, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Lumbini Buddhist University, on this great occasion. I take this opportunity to also welcome Professor Anantastos Dwivedi, Sir, Organizing Secretary, Heritage Society, and Neeta Yadav, Madam, and Professor Deepak Basu, Dean Commerce. Thank you all for joining us. May I now request Professor Neeta Yadav, Madam, to kindly present the executive summary of the conference and welcome all our distinguished guests.
थैंक यू सो मच। नमस्ते। मंच में उपस्थित सभी विद्वजनों का मैं हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करती हूँ। On behalf of Siddharth University Kapilvastu, I extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests on the dais, off the dais, and the guests who have joined us online. In this conference, in the inaugural session, we have our distinguished Chairperson, Professor Hari Bahadur Srivastava, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Siddharth University Kapilvastu, and we had 5 parallel sessions yesterday, and in these 5 parallel sessions, 62 papers were read from all over the country and the world. Some of them have joined from Sri Lanka, Colombia, Vietnam, Ireland, and all distinguished guests who joined us in these sessions, they were present throughout the day with us. Today also, we had 5 parallel sessions, and the chairmen of the 5 parallel sessions were with us. I especially thank to all the chairmen who were present physically and who were present on the online mode in this inaugural session and valedictory session. This conference has been conducted by Heritage Society as a global heritage conclave, and Siddharth University Kapilvastu is a venue for this conclave, and I feel proud to inform that Global Heritage Conclave has organized its first very conclave in the premises of Siddharth University Kapilvastu. I must tell you that Siddharth University is not a very old university. It has just completed its 5 years, and within a short period of 5 years, we are celebrating an event which is an international event. So this is our proud privilege. So thank you all for coming and joining us. And now I'll give the mic to compare.
Thank you, Madam. May I now request Tanushree ji to kindly welcome all our distinguished guests and honor them with mementos and bouquet.
Thank you, each and everyone, for being with us here today. We are very pleased to be able to welcome all of you who have come from all across the world, and also our own country, and also from outside, both physically and virtually. I now request our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Siddharth University, to kindly honor the Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Lumbini University, and our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Northeastern University. Now, may I call upon Professor Anantashto sir to honor our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Siddharth University, with our very pious bag, which has come all over from Mithila. Now, may I request Professor Anantashto sir to also honor Professor Deepak with the bag. Now may I call upon Azad sir to go ahead with the proceedings further.
Thank you, Tanushree. This is really a great opportunity to see all the distinguished guests and all our speakers. The 2 days conference has sought several deliberations from renowned scholars, philosophers, academicians, curators, and participants joining us from different parts of India and abroad. Now, moving ahead, may I now request Dr. B.R. Mani sir, our distinguished guest of the session, to kindly provide us blessings on this valedictory session of the conference. Dr. B.R. Mani sir has been the Vice-Chancellor of National Museum Institute, New Delhi, and former Director General of National Museum. Dr. Mani sir has been a great renowned academician, archaeologist. His deliberations, articles in national and international journals has been a great privilege for us to always go through those. May I now request Dr. B.R. Mani sir, who is connected with us online, to kindly bless us on this great occasion.
Am I audible, Azad? Azad, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay. Good morning, distinguished guests, speakers, organizers, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to be associated with online with the Global Heritage Conclave 2022, which has been organized by the Heritage Society Patna in collaboration with the Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Education, ICHR, and Siddharth Nagar University. I'm enlightened to see that Professor Srivastava, Vice-Chancellor, Siddharth Nagar University, Professor Hemlata Mohan, Chairperson, ICCR, Professor Bajracharya, Vice-Chancellor, Lumbini Buddhist University, and many other distinguished scholars have joined this conclave. With Siddharth Nagar and that area in the Saripar region, I have a great fascination for this, firstly, because it's my hometown, the undivided Basti district, which has been divided into Basti, Siddharth Nagar, and Sant Kabir Nagar districts now. And there are a number of phases through which I have been associated from time to time with the archaeological pursuits in the area. For the first time, it was in 1994-95 when there was a parliament question, and some assurance was also given to the question for taking up archaeological investigations in this region of Trans-Ghagra Plains. So we had formed a committee of experts. Dr. Rakesh Tiwari was also part of it as the director of the Uttar Pradesh State Archaeology Department, and we re-explored some of the ancient sites in the region. The site which has yielded the earliest evidence of cultivation of rice agriculture, Lahradeva, was also noticed during this exploratory survey. So that was one first phase of archaeological investigations, which we did it in 1994-95. And because of the promising sites in the area, as superintending archaeologist in the Archaeological Survey of India, I undertook excavations at Siswania, which is near a site, ancient site near the city of Basti on the bank of river Kuano. And we also did certain soundings in some more areas of the three districts of undivided Basti. We, for 2 seasons, we excavated the site and explored extensively the area of Basti, Siddharth Nagar, and Sant Kabir Nagar. And during course of exploratory surveys, we noticed a number of archaeological sites, 145, which have been documented, and a monograph was published in the Pragdhara Journal of UP State Archaeology Department. Then, of course, I was again associated with this region when the government asked me to excavate the disputed site of Ayodhya. Of course, this site is on the other side of river, not exactly in the Saryu Par or Transnagara plains, but on the other side. And it was our pleasure that because of the evidences which we gave to the Honorable High Court, Lucknow bench of Allahabad, that the matter could be settled, although it went to the Supreme Court and final judgment was given for in this particular case. And now the construction of Ram temple is in progress at the Ram Janmabhoomi site. So during all these, I don't know how much time I have, otherwise I'll go on speaking. Azad or Professor Dr. Dwivedi, can you tell? Hello? Dr. Dwivedi or Azad, can you tell me how much time I have?
So, we have 10 minutes, but we will be really honored if you to hear you, sir, even more.
Well, I'll speak for another 5-6 minutes more in that case. It was, I wanted to come and attend this global conclave, heritage conclave, but because of my health problems and other issues, it was not possible. But I certainly someday it would be my pleasure to come and visit the university. We were also responsible in establishing the Kapilvastu Museum at Piprava, in front of Ganvaria site. The first gallery was introduced there, which was inaugurated by late Professor D.N. Tripathi. And Dr. Rajiv Dwivedi was the main person who had worked for establishing this museum. Archaeology as such is perhaps the best source of understanding our history, and very prominent and significant contributions have been made in the recent times. Like I can mention that the Paleolithic culture, or say Acheulean tools, which normally we get from so many sites in the country and outside. A site in the south called Atirampakam had been excavated during last few years, and now the date which was known to be in between 1 lakh to 2 lakh 50,000 years for the those stone tools has been pushed back to 12 lakh to 17 lakhs years before Christ. Similarly, the Indian civilization was considered to start around 6th century BC. If we do not take Indus Valley civilization, and it was suggested that there is a gap in between, and that period after the downfall of Indus Valley civilization and the rise of the Mahajanpadas, that period was considered to be a period of dark age. But with the recent findings from recent excavations, that dark age concept has been totally countered, and there was no dark age. The pottery, which was supposed to be 6th century BC to 3rd century BC, has been pushed back to at least 1200 BC onwards. So where is the question of dark age? This is in the context of northern black polished ware. And after we excavated Ayodhya, the dates were known for the first time. Simultaneously, the dates also came from Nepal, from Gotiwa site, which is near the border of the Nepalese, in the Nepalese side. So those dates are also quite significant and push back the period of NBP to no less than 800, 900 years before Christ. In North India, many universities, state archaeology departments, ASI and other institutions excavated no less than 10 sites, and from them the dates have been pushed back. In 2012-13, I had also excavated, rather re-excavated the site of Piprava Ganvaria. It was only to understand the antiquity of the site. And there we found that in the period 1, which is pre-NBP level, there are a number of dates like 2360 plus minus 130 BC, 1740 plus minus 140 BC, and also 1100 plus minus 200 BC. But when we come to the period 2, which is represented by northern black polished ware, black sleeved ware, grey ware, and related red ware pottery, the dates are still the beginning is around 1070 plus minus 70 BC, and the other date is that is the terminating date is 700 plus minus 70 BC. And this excavation was conducted under my direction in association with Lucknow Circle of the ASI, where the superintending archaeologist Praveen Mishra, Dr. Praveen Mishra, was also we already know that it's a well-established fact that nearby Lumbini is a site which is, there is no doubt about it that this is the site where Lord Buddha was born as Prince Siddharth. There is a controversy amongst the archaeologists about the location of Kapilvastu. In 1899, when P.C. Mukherjee had discovered Tilora Court, and in later times, it was supposed to be the place of Kapilvastu. In 1970s, Sri K.N. Srivastava excavated Piprava and Ganvaria, and on the basis of several seals, ceilings, etc., and potsherds, he tried to identify Ganvaria as the city site of Kapilvastu and the site of Piprava as the monastic establishment. So there are so many developments which had taken place in this region. My idea was only to understand what is the antiquity of the site, and therefore it was excavated by me. There are so many other important points in which we can have more discussions, but since the time is short, we have already started a little late and we have to conclude in 2 hours, I believe. So it would be my pleasure once again to thank you, all of you, and with the note that I would certainly one day would like to visit the place, maybe while going to my ancestral village. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouragement, motivation, and insights. Your contribution to the field of archaeology continues to inspire us even today. We are today blessed with the gracious presence of several dignitaries after 2 days of brainstorming sessions, which brought up several different themes and insights on different sections of Indian history. We are really blessed to hear our dignitaries who are present with us today. May I now invite Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Sir, Northeastern Hill University, Professor Prabhasankar, sir, to kindly bless us with your valedictory speech. Thank you, sir.
Dignitaries present on the dais, Professor Haribahadur Srivastav, Chairperson, Chief Guest of the function, Professor Hemlata S. Mohan, Chairperson, CCRT, Ministry of Culture, Government of India, Dr. Buddha Rashmi Mani, former Vice-Chancellor, National Museum Institute of New Delhi, Professor Anantatosh Dwivedi, Organizing Secretary, Professor Deepak Babu, Dean of the different schools, faculty members, and participants. I really feel very honored to present here. When I learned that Heritage Society, in collaboration with Center for Cultural Resources and Training, Ministry of Culture, Government of India, New Delhi, and Siddharth University, Kapilvastu is organizing a global heritage conclave. I could only be proud that such an event is being organized, which is dedicated to the heritage and culture of our great nation. We should all feel pride in being part of such an event. I congratulate Heritage Society and Siddharth University in organizing such an event and educating all of us in learning about proud history and culture. Indian heritage dates back to several centuries. It is a vast and vibrant. We have valued our culture and tradition ever since the beginning and have preserved it beautifully for our culture generations. Our cultural heritage is of utmost importance to us, no matter how much we have progressed and how far we plan to reach. We can never forget our cultural and traditional, as they are embedded in us and are an inseparable part of ours. India is a land of varied culture and traditions. People from numerous caste, religion, and creed reside in our country. Each of these caste and religion has its own customs and tradition. The culture followed by the different cultural activities, very rigorous group developed in different culture, has deep underlying roots and is followed with the unwavering faith. Each religion has its own set of festivals, dance, forms, music, and various other arts. From each of these has its own charm. The beauty of our culture is that we know only have respect for our heritage, but also show respect for that of other religions too. This is the reason why the vivid Indian heritage has survived since centuries. Besides, we also have a magnificent monumental heritage. Most of the beautiful edifices built by the past rulers still stand tall and exhibit our royal past. We take pride in our heritage. In India, people from numerous religious castes and creeds resides in the same country, and so it is the land of diversified culture and religion. Kapilvastu is one of them. Each region and caste has its own tradition and customs. So with this, deliberations in different topics already discussed in the 2 days celebration, and I hope in 2 days celebration we will be in position to say something that really our cultural heritage are very rich. Unity in diversity and respect of the culture, this depicts India very well. Thus, the range of Indian heritage is also quite vast, as a number of religion is quite innumerable in India, so that the diversity and so does the heritage sites. One will find various historical heritage sites in every corner of the India, basically every states. These heritage sites are built decades ago and still stand alone with all the significance. Among all the Indian heritage, archaeological sites are the treat to the eyes of travelers from all over worlds. Besides, Indians' love for its rich history keeps these heritage sites. It is the duty of the older generations to evoke the same love and respect for these sites. They shall learn the significance and keep their willingness to preserve the heritage for the future generations. We all know about our Indian philosophy, heritage, which dharma, karma, samarastha, reincarnation, dukkha, renunciation, meditation, with almost all of them focusing on the ultimate goal of liberation of the individual from dukkha and samarastha. Through diverse range of spiritual practices, moksha and nirvana, and this philosophical heritage must pass on to our future generations, so that our heritage is not lost with time and our youth will proud to know about our cultural heritage. On behalf of Northeastern Hill University, on my behalf, I would like to thank the organizer to organize such kind of global conclave, especially on the heritage. And I hope in the future, the Kapilvastu area, with the collaboration in different universities, will flourish to disseminate the knowledge of Kapilvastu and role of the Kapil Muni in the preservation and dissemination of the Dharma in the country. Once again, I congratulate Heritage Society and Siddharth University Kapilvastu on organizing such an event, and I know it surely was a successful. Thank you. Khublai Mitela. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir, for your blessings. We are today truly blessed with the gracious presence of Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Professor Hridaya Ratna Bajracharya, our chief guest of today's valedictory session, Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Lumbini Buddhist University. I request, sir, to kindly bless us with your kind presence and valedictory speech.
Namaskar. First of all, let me express greetings from Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha, and also from Lumbini Buddhist University. And coming from Buddhist University, which is really dedicated to Buddha, let me also highlight three triple gem concept given by Buddha. And in Buddhist tradition, we say Namo Ratna Triyaya. In the three, the one is Buddha, the another is Dharma, and the another is Sangha. I will come to this later on, but let me start by expressing my deep gratitude and thanks to the organizer for inviting me as a chief guest of today's this valedictory session. It's a great honor to me, to my institution, and we take it very deeply, and we'll use this as a foundation for our relationship in the days to come. I'm also so fortunate and thankful to the Professor Hari Bahadur Srivastava, Chairperson of today's session, who is also the Vice-Chancellor of this university. This is first time I'm visiting this university, although my university is only about 25 kilometers from here. Because of the COVID situation, for 2 years, we have been not really been able to really exchange our visits. In the days to come, we really hope that we'll have a very brisk exchanges academically, person to person also, and culturally. And I'm very much thankful to Professor Ananta Sutosh Dwivediji. I crossed the protocol, but Ananta Sutoshji, I have been in touch both in telephone and also on email. And you are coming from this Mithila region. I'm so glad. This really connects us to Janakpur in Nepal. I just visited Janakpur last week. And this Janakpur, when we visit Janakpur, it brings us to the great heritage that we inherit. The heritage of King Janaka, Sita, and of course, through Sita, we connect to Rama, and also great sages, great rishi, like Yajnavalkya, who is from Janakpur, and Vidyapati, so great Mithila scholar, who has really enriched our society, made us proud, this area. And not only that, actually, when I reflect on our heritage, I'm also a practicing Buddhist from Kathmandu Valley, and we practice Buddhism, which is called Vajrayana. It is a part of Mahayana. And this Vajrayana practice in Kathmandu Valley, it is in Sanskrit. I think 4 languages are very important when you talk about Buddhist literature and of course Buddhist heritage that way. The most important is in Pali, of course, the first one. And as soon as Sanskrit language followed, so the huge collection of our literature is in Sanskrit language. It is preserved in many countries, in Nepal, in Tibet, in China, and India, of course, and many other parts of the world also, mostly in Sanskrit. And they are then translated in other languages. They are then translated. And in Kathmandu Vajrayana, when we offer puja, when we offer speech, when we offer respect to our any program, then we chant a sloka like this: Srimad Sri Sakya Singha Tathagatasya Buddha Kshetre Bhadrakalpe Vaivasvat Manantare Himavat Parvat Dakshin Parsve Satya Treta Dvaparante Kali Yuge Jambu Dipe Bhasuki Kshetre Aryavarta Punyabhumo. So this Jambudipa Aryavarta we jointly inherit. And when we are talking about Jambudipa, of course, it predates what we call India today, or even what we call the other countries in the region. So we are the proud inheritant of that, big concept, big heritage, and that really makes us rich. There is no way that we should feel poor in terms of our humanly conceivable, humanly thinkable richness. This region used to be the richest region in the world, known world of that time. And that is why it attracted many people of many interests. Think about people coming from China, far away, that time, almost 2,000 years ago. In the 5th century, Hayyan visited here to come and learn how this part is really advancing in terms of philosophy, in terms of life, in terms of all other social, cultural aspect, and the riches that it really inherited. 7th century, Huyan came from China. Imagine 2,000 years ago, how they must have traveled all the way from China to this part of the world, to this part of Buddhist, to Lumbini, to Kapilvastu, and also many other parts of this Jambudipa. So this is really very important. This heritage is very important for this part of the world, for this Jambudipa part of the world that include Nepal and India. When you talk about Nepal and India today, the context is very different from the context of the time of Buddha or the time of Ashoka. If you look at the relics from the Ashokan time, in Nepal we also have relics, very important relics. Ashoka Stamba, there are 3 places where Ashoka Stambas are there. When Ashoka came to commemorate his 20th, Professor of Archaeology is here, Basanta Bidari sir is here. It is 20th, yes sir? 20th year of his accession to power. He came to Lumbini and put up Ashoka Stamba. He also visited Niglihova, a place called Niglihova, and he put up Ashoka Stamba there to pay homage to Kanaka Muni, the earlier Buddha. He also went to Gotihava and put up another Ashoka pillar there to commemorate, to pay homage to Kroku Chanda Buddha, earlier Buddha. So that way, this area, we share same heritage. We have political boundary, but remove that political boundary, then we share many things in common way. I think this is the spirit that we should really think of in bringing riches to this part of the world. Although we live in the realities of the politics, realities of the political authority, realities of the today's boundaries, but nonetheless, when we talk about our heritage is really rich. Our heritage goes beyond many other things. It goes into not only our recorded history, but beyond recorded history. You talk about Kapila Muni. Yes, we have Kapila Muni. You talk about Kapilvastu. There is a Kapilvastu. We have a Kapilvastu. We are really, we just have concluded an international committee, scientific community we call it, that annually meet in Kapilvastu and in Lumbini to talk about Kilorakot excavation that is going on there. the whole area of about 100 and 150 kilometer by 50 kilometer stretch of land that include Kapilvastu, Lumbini, and Devdaha. Devdaha is the maternal home of Maya Devi, Prajapati Gautami, and Yasodhara, Siddhartha Gautama's wife. Yeah. So all these three places are there, and they are all full of many archaeological findings. Fortunately, these days you don't have to dig to find out the archaeological evidences, because there is a technology, and that technology is to X-ray the land. And that X-ray of the land, it is already revealing so many things out there. And we are proud inheritor of those areas. Of course, when you look at the history, then there are so many stages of history where we have undergone many bad days and many good days. And because we are in today's present world, what we are, all those histories, they are connected to today's present. And today, I'm very thankful for this Global Heritage Conclave. And I really admire, not only thank, I really admire. This is a great conclave. This is a great conference that has been put up to really reflect on our heritage, to be mindful of our heritage, and to also, I'm sure you must have lots of paper which have discussed on the potentiality of utilizing those heritage, bringing those heritage in today's context, and to bring or to give inputs to our society, so then we can use those heritage in a meaningful way, in a profitable way, and in a very fulfilling way that we feel as proud inheritor of those heritages. I presume that all those papers will be published and you will be sharing with us. We really look forward to looking at those papers. And one of the major aspects that our university is taking up is culture and heritage. And we are putting one word on that, and that is culture and heritage management. Culture and heritage, yes, we have. We have become aware of our culture and heritage. We are discovering our culture and heritage more and more that really are making us proud. But at the same time, we have a good. We should also need to have a good management so that we can use that in the present context, again, for the benefit of all of us. So that is one of the focus that our university is taking up. And while coming today, it's about 1 week past, a group of professors from this university have visited Lumbini Buddhist University. It was a surprise visit, but very lovely and very enjoyable surprise visit. Thank you to Madam and the team who have visited us, and that really opened up the luck that was put up because of the COVID situation. And so the door is open, and we will be coming together more on this way. And having said this, we need to have more academic exchanges. Not only exchanges, I propose that we need to have a joint program also, academic program, where we can reflect on our culture, on our heritage, reflect on them, do research, and find more how we can really gain from all those historical past in a very beneficial way. So this is one aspect that I really rejoice in sharing. The another part is, it is not only the academic part, it is not only the research and the academic program that we should look forward in terms of sharing and exchanges, but also people to people. We need more people visiting from Nepal to this side and from this side to Nepal, visit all the heritages, enjoy and feel belonging, and then think of how we can really use them. So that will connect us to the new phenomena of this modern world, and that is tourism. Although in the past we simply used to call visitors, but then today, because the whole world has developed that way, the capitalism has come there, so it also has joined with economy, and therefore in the past, if you are visiting somewhere else, either you have to prepare everything yourself, or you need to be sponsored by somebody else to visit from one place to another place. That is how visitors from Nepal, many visitors from Nepal who came to study in Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, Odantapuri, they were able to come and study there. Similarly, many people from India who traveled to Nepal, and from Nepal to beyond to Tibet and China and many parts of the world to spread Buddhism. That is how it happened earlier. But today, because of this, capitalistic development, you have hotels now. You have even the universities and other places. They are also putting up what we call a guest house or hotel, or and then tour. It's so easy because of the technology. You can travel by plane. You can travel by bus, cars. Imagine if it were in the Buddha's time, you need to walk, and walking from this place to Lumbini would have taken about 2 days. Yeah, at least 1 day will be very difficult. 1 day will be very difficult because it is more than 25 kilometers. So 25 kilometers for 1 day may be difficult. But now, see, we travel. We set aside about 1.5 hours to come here, just in case we will be late for the program. So we came from there, but we arrived here 1 hour, in 1 hour. And we thought it is 10 o'clock. Okay, this is good time. But I forgot we come from Nepal and we have 15 minutes time ahead. So we were 15 minutes early here. So that was a surprise to our friends. But we also found surprise ourselves. The point I was trying to bring here is that the other aspect that we need to really think about is to research on our people, research on the perception of the people, research on the value of our people, and use that research to find out how we can make it beneficial, how we can make it enjoyable for our people together. This is second part. And the third part, which is very important, is, see, in today's world, if we try to compete with countries like the United States or Russia or other countries, advanced countries, in terms of technology, part may be okay. For India, of course, it is making many advances in technology, in terms of technology and other things. But when we talk about overall people, competing the lifestyle, the consumption capacity, and the what we call gross national income, gross income per person, we may not be so advanced. But when we talk about fulfillment of our need, and when we talk about fulfillment of our need, then the need is defined because of our mental perception. And we are the people who always valued not possession, but giving away possession. That is how we consider Siddhartha. Siddhartha really epitomized giving away all the things, the power, the money, the luxury and everything. For what? For really dwelling into the question that came to his mind, and that is why life needs to suffer. To find that answer, he gave away everything. And after finding the answer, what he did? He didn't go after power. He was never after power. But he epitomized other powers to really follow him, and be mindful. Siddhartha's teaching is very important. Teaching is Siddhartha after becoming Buddha. After becoming Buddha, his most important teaching is to be mindful. Dhyana, meditation. And to be mindful, when we talk about our possession, what I need, what I want, if you reflect on that, do I really need this? Do what I am really thinking about possessing, will that really help me get satisfied? Would that really help me be rich, feel rich? When you start to question this type of question, then of course we have different answer. And that different answer leads us to be happy. What makes us happy? Buddha taught us how to overcome dukkha. And how to overcome dukkha relates to the absence of dukkha is sukha. Absence of dukkha is sukha. So, and he also pointed so explicitly that what a person really wished to have in his life. And Buddha said, Sabbe tasanti dandasa, sabbe muchno vai. Who is there who doesn't fear somebody punishing or getting harmed? Who is there who does not fear death? And Buddha also said, everybody, not human being only, every living being, they wish to live happily. They live to wish freely. They wish to live together with the one dear and near. That is the life. That is the life. So, what is important for that is that you do not consider only for yourself to be happy, to be endeavoring for happiness, because everybody wishes for happiness. And that kind of teaching, which is from Dhammapada, leads us to really look for the other important aspect. And the other important aspect is that happiness really doesn't come from within only one person. Unless and until other people are happy, you will not be happy. So we should be always thinking from the perspective that we need to create happiness for everybody. And that really calls us for important teachings of Buddha, and that is about Shila. Panatipata Vedamanisika, don't do any harm to others. Ahimsa. Yeah. Always be truthful, because if you are not truthful, then it will create something not good for others, and that will reflect back to you. So 5 Shilas Buddha taught about this, relating to this part. And that relates to then what? See, there are some aspects which are very, very dangerous, very powerful, and that is Kamesu Mithyachara. If you look at the news, most of the crimes are related to Mithyachara, Kamesu Mithyachara. And most of the crimes are related to what? This addiction, alcohol, and other addictions. So very simple. These are all knowledge given by Buddha 2600 years ago. Imagine. And what Buddha said? He said, everything comes out of our mind. If our mind is clear, if our mind is cheerful, happy, everything will be good. Everything that comes out will be good. Mano puvangama dhamma, mano setta manomaya, manasachi padatena vasativa karoti, tato dukkhamanviti chakkamba bhatu padam. If you do anything bad, the dukkha will come just like the cart, wheel of the cart following the track of the oxen pulling it. And sukha will come if you do good thing with cheerfulness. So these are the teachings. And these teachings, these concepts are really kalzai. They were good that time, they were good now, and they will be good in future also. I'm bringing all these points to remind myself and to share with you that although world has advanced so rapidly in terms of technology, in terms of communication, in terms of transportation, look at the technology. We are talking here, we are having this conference, and lots of our scholars are joining from faraway places. Even international joining is possible. This is unimaginable 40 years ago, 50 years ago. It is happening. But in spite of this, is humanity really going in the place where we really desire? Is it really making us happy? Is it bringing happiness to people in the United States, or in China, or in Japan, or in Russia, or any parts of the world? No. They are in fact bringing lots of conflict also. And the conflict is really multiplied because of this capacity, because of this power, because of this technology. We are hearing, the news is full of fear these days because of what is happening in Ukraine. Is it going to start Third World War? People are asking this question. Look at what Buddha taught. Nahi verena verani samantidha kudachana avereni verani es dhammo sanatana. Vairi or the enmity will never overcome enmity. Never, never. Enmity will simply increase enmity. It's like putting ghee on the fire. Only non-enmity or friendship will really overcome enmity. And that really, these kind of knowledge, these knowledge are our heritage. Although it is not in the form of monuments or in the form of buildings, monuments, but these are the heritage. These are intangible heritage, and so important and also really good. These are also Carl Zay concept. See, Martin Luther King, he brought big change in United States, brought democracy and equality, value of equality in United States to include the black people there without much other physical revolution, without bloodshed. He was able to bring, because he followed this Nahi Verena Verani. His speech was, I have a dream where we share good, joyful, and developed United States for all of us. That is what he said. He was not against the white people. He was black, but he was not against white people. Similar thing happened with Nelson Mandela. He was able to, with the same approach, he was able to bring this big change in South Africa. And most importantly, from this land, Gandhiji, he brought the same concept to change the mind of the then English power, the British power, and made India free without much bloodshed. But then all this knowledge, it was there 2,600 years ago. So this is our heritage. And having said this, we have this potentiality. We have this potentiality to show to the world that the hope for a better world, we do have that kind of concept as our inheritance, and that is part of our wealth, that is part of our part of our life, that is part of our thinking and everything. And with this kind of approach, we will be able to show to the world how to live in this 21st century. Because living again will based on what comes in our mind. If we can help the world to understand these kind of possibilities, then of course the world will be very nice place to live. With the capacity that we have gained from science and technology, used with really good mind, simple 4 points taught by Buddha in what is called Brahma Vihar, Chatu Brahma Vihar. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, and Upeksha. Friendliness, we all enjoy friendliness. We feel confident to travel anywhere, and we feel welcome when we travel everywhere if the people are friendly. We feel so happy because you are friendly to us. You will feel happy when you come to Lumbini and people there are friendly to you. So it's so important. And friendliness comes when we have goodwill towards all, and that is Karuna. Always thinking of goodwill and goodness for everybody. And this will come only when you have that capacity. Unless you are happy, how can you give happiness to others? If you don't have money, how can you give money to others? If you don't have food, how can you give food to others? If you are not happy, if you don't have happiness, how can you give happiness to others? So be happy to yourself. Be happy, not artificially, from inside. That is the mudita. It's such a nice word we have. Mudita, pramudita. Yeah? So many other words. We have many our names as Pramudit or Mudit or something like that. Yeah? So we really should be mindful of this. And then, of course, upeksha is so important too. Because without upeksha, the other three things will not come. Because I may feel sometime slighted by other person. I may feel sometime harmed by other person. And if I cling to that feeling, then what will happen? All bad things will be coming in my mind. I'll be thinking of revenge, or I'll be thinking of paying back that way, and that will make us really think bad way, and that will lead us to what Buddha taught in Dhammapada, the first sloka. So this Chatu Brahma Vihara is so simple. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. But it is so powerful, so important for all of us to really reflect on what makes us happy, what makes us fulfilled, what makes us really good for ourselves and for others. These type of knowledge are the main reason why people are attracted 2,000 years ago, 2,600 to 2,000 years ago, from as far as Korea, Japan, China, and Indonesia. Those people have come here to learn. Oh, such an important learning are there. Such a, really thinking out of box and thinking for goodness of us, and thinking of the ideas and concept of how to overcome war and conflict and those kind of things. It all comes because of this kind of learning. And so this heritage also very, very important. So I really encourage you all to study Buddhism, to study Buddhist philosophy, to study Buddhist culture. Buddhist culture, it's very interesting. In Nepal, we have whole Himalayan region there, and the whole Himalayan region is Buddhist communities there, all full of monasteries, and those monasteries have very interesting cultural activities, and those cultural activities are the main reason why people from many parts of the world wish to visit Nepal, wish to visit mountains, Himalayas. We have a good tourism in Himalayas. our national income, out of our national income, a big section relates to tourism of Himalayas. Similarly, in Kathmandu Valley, where I come from, there are many viharas and many cultural rituals, and that is why this is drawing lots of tourism and lots of scholars and researchers to visit Kathmandu. And I welcome you also to visit Kathmandu and also to Himalayas and start from Lumbini, which is so important. But Lumbini, in course of history, if you look at the population of Lumbini, there are not much Buddhists now. There are no more Sakyas there. They are all part of history. But nonetheless, the archaeological sites, the archaeological findings, they stand there. They stand there tall. And they remind us of our heritage. They remind us of our heritage. Although I am in Kathmandu, I feel belonging to Lumbini because my heritage, because I belong to the Sakyas, I belong to the Kodiyas, I belong to Lumbini. That way I think. And so that connects us to that part and make me very proud of this Lumbini heritage. I believe all of us have that kind of connection one way or other way to our heritages. And this is physical connection and the historical evidences, but more to that, the knowledge part, that is most important, the intangible part, and knowledge and the culture, because knowledge leads us to culture, and culture will lead us to the economy and all other things. Yeah. So lastly, to conclude, again, coming back to the beautiful concept Buddha has given, why Buddha is so much, loved, liked by people, not only in this part of the world, all over the world. Why is because of, again, the three concepts, the three Ratna. Buddha was not born. Buddha became, Siddhartha became Buddha. And how did he become Buddha? Of course, there are literature, like for example, Sutta Pitaka, it says about 9 qualities behind Buddha. Paramita, it considers 10 qualities to become Buddha. But simply to put, in terms of our conversation, I would like to bring 3 key concepts. That is why Buddha. One is knowledge, sarvagya. One is knowledge, fully knowledgeable. The second is knowledge. Knowledge does not lead you to become Buddha. Knowledge is not sufficient unless you have wisdom, vivek, buddhi and vivek. Unless you have buddhi and vivek, that knowledge may lead you to bad thing also. Like for example, the atomic power. You use that into atomic bomb, one thing. You use that in atomic reactor, another. That switch is dependent on buddhi. But then how you switch will depend on what thing? Karuna, the concern and the attitude to be good for everything, everybody, every living being. Only that can help you correctly use buddhi and correctly use your knowledge, jnana, buddhi and karuna. 3 combined makes one a Buddha. And Buddha had explicitly told, apadipo bhava, learn yourself. Be mindful of yourself. You have the capacity to become Buddha. That was his teaching. That was the teaching, last teaching he gave to Ananda. Yes. So that way, this is one concept, Buddha. So when we say Namo Buddhaya or Buddham Saranam Gacchami, it is not that we are praying to God, rather it is the generation are highlighting the power of knowledge, wisdom and compassion. Buddha. What is Dharma? It is often explained as religion. No, religion is only part of Dharma. Only one part of Dharma. Dharma is more than religion. Dharma is that what you do based on that, again, knowledge, wisdom and compassion. So Buddha, based on commitment and action based on Buddha, is Dharma. And what is Sangha? We don't live here alone. We live connected. we live connected. So we always have to associate with other. We must come together. We must join hands together, collaborate together, and that is Sangha. So Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. And I invite you all to visit our university, be linked with our university, and we of course are talking about entering into a formal MOU sometime very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind blessings. It has been an overwhelming experience for all of us to hear you in person. We are very fortunate to hear your enlightening and encouraging words today. And this is rightly that man lives in harmony with man lives in harmony with nature, and man lives as a part of nature. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind blessings. If history is all about the past, then heritage is the celebration of that past, and Global Heritage Conclave is an initiative to instill that sense of pride for our glorious heritage. This Conclave is being organized in partnership of three institutions: Heritage Society, Siddharth University, and CCRT, Center for Cultural Resources and Training. And it is really an honor for me to welcome another special guest who is connected with us online now, Professor Hemlata S. Mohan, Madam, Chairperson of Center for Cultural Resources and Training, New Delhi, Ministry of Education and Culture. She is connected with us online. Madam is the head of this institution. She has been working behind to make this conference successful. May I request Madam Professor Hemlata S. Mohan, Madam, to kindly bless us with your valedictory remarks. Thank you, Madam.
Namaste. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. With this note, may everyone be very happy and healthy and happy. I start my note. I'm really very happy to be part of the program, which is conducted first annual conference of Heritage Society, Global Heritage Conclave 2023, which has been organized by Heritage. Of course, in with collaboration with the CCI Siddharth University, Kapilvastu, and is being sponsored by Indian Historical Research Education. So, the this is that hope I don't. I think it's my luck to be there because these are the when you come to know with so many people who are so good and very nice to such programs. And nevertheless, I'm here and I wish to really appreciate Mr. Anantasutosh Dwivedi, who is so very enthusiastic on organizing and working so much for culture, our country. Told that the topics they have taken are Indian philosophical heritage, ancient Indian history and archaeology, and then intangible heritage and museum studies, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Buddhism and comparative religions. Uh, these are all very, very important topics, and I think if we are Indians, then these are something. These are the topics which are very important. Probably every Indian know their culture and cultural. So they are really working very hard, and I'm told that 50 plus papers they have already published during these 2 days, and there were five parallel sessions going on with these topics. I I look forward because we are also here at CRT are working for the cause and conducting training programs across the country for Buddhist teachers working in government schools. Uh, we cost happening online. At the moment, we are care of new education policy and many other. Yeah, our mandate is to connect education with the culture, and I think this is so important. Now, in the wake of new education policy, this is this journey of our is intensified as well as is there. So ही है मुझे कि आज मैं आप लोग एक जुड़ पाई और निश्चित रूप से जब हम कपिलवस्तु की बात करते हैं तो हमें बुद्ध याद आते हैं और फिर बुद्ध की वो सारी टीचिंग्स याद आती हैं। कहीं हम 2000 वर्ष पहले कपिलवस्तु के नाम से वहाँ पहुँच जाते हैं लुम्बिनी नहीं है कि एक उनकी यात्रा इस तरह से शुरू हुई होगी उनके जन्म से लेके उनकी वो सारी सघन यात्रा जिसने पूरे विश्व में बुद्धिज्म को फैलाया वो लगता है कि वहाँ आके उन जगहों पर बैठ के में कुछ विशेष निश्चित रूप से बातें और तत्व और भाव जुड़ जाते हैं तो आप लोग बहुत फॉर्चुनेट हैं आप लोग वहाँ पे हैं कपिलवस्तु में हैं मुझे बताया गया आप लोग लुम्बिनी जाएंगे मैं डेफिनेटली लुक फॉरवर्ड टू मीटिंग all of you. I was just telling Dr. Anant Ashutosh that activity, and we too are doing something. Let's work together. This special moment is so successfully conducted. I will congratulate everyone, and most importantly, Dr. Ashutosh. I have so many people, master of their subjects. So I definitely very humbled to do this and uh, see this and know about the program. So thank you very much for inviting me, and I look forward to some conversation.
Thank you, madam, for your kind words and your continued support to us in organizing this great conclave, which has seen several deliberations and academic sessions over the last 2 days and has been a great success, which would have not been possible for you because without your support. Thank you, madam. Lord Buddha's eternal message of peace, compassion, harmony, satya, ahimsa has inspired and touched millions of minds since ages. And this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to stay at the serene location of Kapilvastu and stay at Siddharth University, which is itself is an historically acclaimed place and has seen the life events of Lord Buddha. More than this, being located at this place, we have the wonderful opportunity to hear our chairperson, sir, Honorable Vice-Chancellor Siddharth University Kapilvastu, who is currently with us. I take this privilege to welcome our chairperson, sir, to present valedictory remarks. Thank you, sir.
Very good afternoon, sir. The persons on the dais, Professor Hridaya Ratna Bajracharya ji, Vice-Chancellor, Lumbini University, Nepal. The guest of honor online who joined with us is Professor Hemlata S. Mohan, Chairperson, CCRT, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. And again, the online joining Professor Hemlata, Buddha Rashmi Mani, former Vice Chancellor, National Museum Institute, New Delhi. Physically here with us is the Professor Prabhuratna Shankar, Vice Chancellor, Northeast Eastern University, Shillong. The most beloved Anant Ashutosh Dwivedi from the Heritage Society, Dr. Neeta Yadav, the organizing secretary, and the Anant Prabhu is also our secretary. Of the dais is my class fellow Professor Sushil Tripathi, and other I left on the dais Professor Deepak Bapu here as a Dean Faculty of Commerce. Of the dais Professor Harish Sharma, my very senior colleague Professor Dr. Deembandhu Pandeyji, dignitaries from the very famous archaeologists from the Lumbini universities, other dignitaries, colleagues, friends, media person, and my dear students. For the last 2 days, we have been deliberating on the different aspects, on the archaeological aspects, Azadi Ka Mahotsav, heritage of this region, and ancient Indian history and the cultures, and concentrating on the Buddhist studies on the culture of the Buddha. In the last 2 days, we had 5 parallel sessions deliberating on the different aspects of the Buddhist studies and culture. To morning, I had an opportunity to receive 2 of our Vice Chancellors here. First and foremost, from the Vice Chancellor, Lumbini University. I heard him and I learned something which I have never knew about it. First of all, I will tell you that Professor Bajracharya is a master in physics, PhD in education from the University of Alberta, Canada. And I'm surprised and I'm very delighted to have his depth of knowledge in the Buddhism. Normally, science people avoid all these things, like I do. So I have special compliments to you. Being a science student from the University of Alberta, although I had also spent time in the University of Alberta much before he was there, but his depth of knowledge, his Sanskrit, his Buddhism studies, and the subject concerned, the Sanskrit and literature, that is the most appreciable part of him. I learned from him that Kapilvastu is not concentrated here in this border of the UP. Kapilvastu extends up to the Nepal, as he said it in his lecture as well, that the kingdom of the King Suddhodhan extending from right this place to 120 kilometers away from Siddharth. So earlier, the Nepal government has made it a district. I think they have a Kapilvastu district. We don't have a district, we have only the heritage complex here. So earlier, what I believe that it was one complete territory of the King Suddhodhan, where Gautam Buddha has spent his 29 years of his service, where he has played, and then he was enlightened, and then he reached. I had a discussion, I reached on a certain archaeologist sitting here I was wondering that in those days, when the communication was not very frequent and only the river communication or the water communication was there, no motor vehicle, no other things, 26 years, 100 years back, how could Siddharth reach to the top of the world that's called the Tibet? Tibet is a roof of a world. Tibet is the highest position. Was he able to travel from this place all the way to the Tibet? And then I have been conveyed, it's not he who has traveled from this region to the top of the Tibet, to the China, because Buddhism is concentrated much more in Tibet, much more in Korea, much more in Japan. These yellow color people in America, when I was there were three types of the people: black people, white people, and yellow color people. The yellow color peoples are basically these Korean people, Japanese people. So the Buddhism is concentrated all along these areas where Buddha has not virtually traveled it. This is the most important. आज का एक ऋषि, आज एक ज्ञानी एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ट्रैवल करता है, कल फिर गुरुजी भाषण देते हैं, फिर कल रामदेव जी भाषण देते हैं. In those days, these facilities was. So what I mean to concentrate in, it's only the knowledge power. Power is spreading the message was the important mean of communication. Because Buddha has never traveled to the Tibet. Tibet has a height of about 4,000 meters or above. So it is very difficult to travel all the way. Probably, if as my knowledge goes, what I could believe, probably the Buddha has not even traveled to the Kathmandu. If it is. Because traveling was concentrated. But his speeches, his religious matters, his teachings were very powerful, and that has been spread by his disciples, by his others, and India has the several different centers. Like अभी आपने मुझे एक मोमेंट तो दिया, ये कौन सी? Nalanda. Nalanda was basically a knowledge center. Takshashila was a knowledge center. When Wensang came in, probably what, as per my knowledge, I'm not very good in the history, probably he carried the message towards the China, and the Buddhism has been spread over there. Similarly, so there are different carriers of these knowledges. What again I want to convey is, it's not the person, it's his IQ in modern words, his intelligence, his knowledge is very important to convey. Best example I have seen the Professor Bajracharya, having studied in the physics, having studied in the he has complete knowledge of the Buddhism, and I salute you, sir, for your depth of the knowledge and for this. Cutting short, because I would like to thank the organizers, particularly the Global Heritage Conclave from the Ministry of the Culture, Government of India, to the keynote speakers, keynote addresses, and Mani sir from the Delhi, to all the honorable guests, all the honorable speakers, those who have chaired the sessions. You have made this seminar a grand success. I'm sure that this deliberation of the last 2 days with the different 5 themes which I have been conveyed will be very fruitful. Academic discussion has come up, and in the science and every aspect we used to find out कि मेरा कंक्लूजन क्या रहा, इतने दिन इतने पैसे खर्चा किए तो मुझे मिला क्या. तो I think we have been enlightened by the knowledge of the different expertise matters, and I must tell you, Siddharth University has achieved a lot out of this seminar. We have got a good collaborative partner from the Heritage Society, Patna. I have met one of the very good friends from the Vice-Chancellor Shillong University, and on top, we will be able to have a final MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, from the Siddharth University and the Lumbini University. Draft have been prepared. We have discussed it at length, and I hope very soon it will be prepared and it will be executed soon. And it will be a big achievement to the Siddharth University as well as the Lumbini University. So I congratulate you, sir, for this region. I congratulate the organizer for this successful events, and I thanks to the each and every participants which is being physically or virtually present in this seminar. I thank you very much for having set a very nice presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and your remarks. Your encouragement and motivation has always kept our academic pursuit alive and has kept us academically engaged. This one valedictory session is divided into two sections. The first section, after the first section, we have award ceremony. So moving towards that, I may now request Tanushri ji to kindly welcome our delegation, first our delegation from Nepal with mementos.
It is my honor to welcome the delegation from Nepal with mementos which symbolize our love. I may now request Professor Anantashutosh to present the mementos and Professor Nita Yadav to present the mementos to our esteemed guests. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam, for honoring us. Now, one more very important thing has been in line, and for that, now I request the distinguished guests to release 2 books and 1 journal of Heritage Society and Center for Research and Development Studies.
I also request Professor Surendra Tiwari sir to please come on the dais. This is indeed an auspicious occasion for the book launch ceremony. We have 2 books and 1 journal which is being launched at this great occasion of valedictory session of the Global Heritage Conclave 2022.
भेज दो भेज दो.
On this historic occasion, we have from our Nepal delegation and from our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Lumbini Buddhist University, Sir is presenting a token of appreciation and love with the mementos. Thank you so much, sir, for your appreciation and your support to this Global Heritage Conclave.
Some publications to remember our experience.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, is presenting some publications. We are truly blessed with your presence, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead, we have award ceremony. Heritage Society has curated award in the field of education and leadership. We have 2 awards, Education Leadership Award. We have first award, Education Leadership Award for the year 2021. The Education Leadership Award has been instituted to honor and reward outstanding teachers, academic heads, and institutional bodies for their remarkable contribution in shaping, prioritizing, and redesigning the university's academic architecture. This award is given annually to those who have demonstrated excellence and proved leadership in framing the academic architecture of the university. The first award, Education Leadership Award 2021 in the university category is presented to Dr. Bimal Kumar Sarma, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. C.V. Raman University, Vaishali. I request Narita Bhosji on behalf of Dr. C.V. Raman University to kindly collect the award from our distinguished guest. I request Tanushri ji to kindly collect the award on behalf of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. I request our distinguished guest, our Chairperson, Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to present the award. Our Chairperson, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Siddharth University, and our other distinguished guest on the dais, all the Vice Chancellors, our Director General. This award has been curated to honor the leadership in the field of education. We have our second award, Education Leadership Award 2021 in the college level category. The award is being presented to Professor Surendra Kumar Tiwari, Sir, Principal of Gulab Bhai Yadav Smriti Shiksha Mahavidyalaya, located in Kharboni, Madhya Pradesh. I request Professor Surendra sir to collect the award from our distinguished Honorable Chairperson, sir. Our distinguished guest and dignitaries available on the dais to kindly present the award. The award is an appreciation towards your proved leadership and excellence in the field of education. Now, moving towards the last part of this session, we have award ceremony for our distinguished presenters and speakers, delegates, who throughout the 2 days, through the different brainstorming sessions, we have came up with insights on different sections of history, Indian history and heritage. The certificate of presentation will be awarded to all the presenters. May I request Dr. Gyanendra Narayan Rai sir to kindly collect the certificate of presentation from our distinguished Honorable Chairperson sir, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Siddharth University, to kindly present the award to Dr. Gyanendra Narayan Rai. May I request Sri Sanatan Kumar sir to kindly collect the certificate of presentation from our distinguished guest on the dais. Sri Sanatan Kumar sir, Deputy Director, Rajya Sabha. I request Professor Deepbandhu Pandey sir to kindly collect the certificate. Professor Deepbandhu Pandey sir. Professor Sushil Kumar Tiwari sir. I request Professor Sushil Tiwari sir. request Sri Suresh Kumar Singh sir. Sri Suresh Kumar Singh sir, kindly collect the award. Saifalika Avasthi. Saifalika Avasthi. Ajit Jha. Tanushri. Tanushri. Ajit Jha. Dhamma ji. Dhamma. Dr. Satyen. Chairperson.
अरे
Dr. Sunita Tripathi. Professor Harish Sharma. Professor Deepak Balu. Professor Neeta Yadav, Madam.
Mr. Azad Hind Gulshan Nanda. Dr. Ravi Shankar Kumar. Dr. Renu, please come. Dr. Abha Dwivedi. Dr. Vandana Gupta. Dr. Sajendra Tripathi. Dr. Sarita Singh.
Dr. Yashwant Yadav. Dr. Sarita Singh. Dr. Yashwant Yadav. Dr. Akhilesh Dikshit. Dr. Akhilesh Dikshit. Dr. Devbaksh. प्लीज आप लोग सभी लोग यहीं उपस्थित रहेंगे, लास्ट में ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ भी होना है, so all of you are requested to please be there in the hall. Dr. Devbaksh, Dr. Hridaya Pandey, Dr. Arvind Rawat, Dr. Harendra Sharma, Dr. Vimal, Dr. Vimal, Dr. Harin, Dr. Neeraj, Dr. Neeraj, Ramrup Tripathi, Hridesh, Dr. Amit Sahni, Dr. Umesh Kumar, Vimal Kumar,
पार्टिसिपेशन वाला सर्टिफिकेट डेलीगेट्स को दिलवाना है, उनके नाम कॉर्पोरेशन हाल पर पार्टिसिपेशन के 3 सर्टिफिकेट रख दीजिए, एक ही 3 सर्टिफिकेट एक में रख दीजिए, तो डेलीगेशन ऑफ नेपाल पार्टिसिपेशन।
We are giving the certificate of participation for the delegates from Nepal. So all of you are please invited here to receive the certificates.
3 सर्टिफिकेट दीजिए आप इसको। हाँ, आप बैग के साथ रुको बेटा, हाँ उसी जाने रुको बेटा, बैग के साथ, हाँ बैग दीजिए, बैग 3 मत दीजिए, जाओ ले जाओ, बैग दीजिए, बैग
Many congratulations to Madam. The delegate of Nepal, those who have come to bless us, we are fortunate to have them here in Siddharth University, Kapilvastu. I request all the participants to please come for a joint photograph. आप सभी आगे आ जाए. Harish sir and Sushil sir can come on the dais. Sushil sir and Harish sir can come on the dais. And all of you please come in front of the dais. Huh? So, madam, to be asked. The delegate of Nepal can also come here on the dais, ma'am. Please come here. आप लोग सभी यहाँ एक ग्रुप छायांकन के लिए कृपया आ जाएं स्टेज के पास. एक ग्रुप छायांकन हो रहा है. सभी डेलीगेट्स को मैं यहाँ आमंत्रित कर रही हूँ. सभी लोग आ जाइए प्लीज.
आप लोग नीचे चले जाते जो जो लोग भाग रहे हैं
सर आप ही आप लंबे आप पीछे आ जाइए आप लंबे हैं आ जाइए आराम से आई एम लाइव नाउ माय फ्रेंड्स you and me
लाइट बंद करवा देते हैं.
चलिए थैंक यू. मैं सीसी वाला करवा चलिए आप लोग देखिए.
All the NCC cadets, those who were with us in this conference, are please requested to collect the certificate from our chairperson. Honorable Vice-Chancellor is requested to kindly give the certificates to the NCC cadets also. लेके जाओ सर्टिफिकेट. एक सर्टिफिकेट ट्रे में रखो बहुत सारा. अरे लाइए सर्टिफिकेट दीजिए. सर्टिफिकेट दीजिए. अरे सर्टिफिकेट दीजिए भैया. One by one you can go. Please go in the line. NCC cadets are receiving certificate from Chairperson, Honorable Vice-Chancellor. All NCC cadets are receiving certificate from Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Professor Hridaya, sir, Vice-Chancellor of Lumbini and Vice-Chancellor of Nepal. They are receiving certificates for their duties and for their good work. May I now request Professor Deepak Babu Mishra sir to kindly give vote of thanks. Professor Deepak Babu sir.
Now, I formally invite Professor Deepak Babu Mishra, Dean, Faculty of Commerce, to formally give the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Honorable Vice-Chancellor and Chief Guest of this Valedictory session, Professor H.V. Siddharth, sir. Honorable Guest of Honor, Professor Hridaya, Ratna, Bajracharya, Vice-Chancellor, Lumbini University, Nepal. In the online connected Guest of Honor, Professor Hemlata S. Mohan, Chairperson, CCRT, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. And also online link with the Guest of Honor, Dr. Buddha Rasmi Mani, former Vice Chancellor, National Museum Institute, New Delhi, and Professor Ratna Shankar, Vice Chancellor, Northeastern University, Ceylon, and all the distinguished learned academicians, participants, colleagues, and the organizing secretaries, Dr. Hridaya, another person who is sitting on the chair, guys. This grateful, wonderful event organized by the various, I have seen the three partners of this wonderful event. And first of all, on the behalf of the Siddharth University and all the members of the Siddharth University, I pay my hearty gratitude to Heritage Society, Patna, Center for Cultural Resources and Training, New Delhi, Bharat Adhyan Kendra, BHU Varanasi, Gulabbai Yadav Smriti Shiksha Mahavidyalaya, Borma, and in Horticulture Research, New Delhi, to conduct, to organize this program is supported by many things, participants in globally enclave for this global heritage enclave. And I also pay my deep gratitude to all the learned academicians, those who have chaired the parallel sessions, those who have act as the key speakers, those who have addresses as online, virtually, and physically both, and all the scholars who attended this, and all the participants are to conduct in this complex, connect virtually or physically. There I'm heartily thankful. I have paid my all the gratitudes to all the best participants, those are virtually or physically connect with us. And finally, on the way, there are lots of thanks to the organizing committee of this Global Heritage Conclave. It is just seen because that it is not depends on the horticulture or the global heritage. We have discussed and listened many things about also the Buddhas of the Jainis of this particular places. What are the importance of the Lumbini, the Kapilvastu, and all the things those are related to the history and archaeology. These are lots of things discussed, and I hope and I wish all the participants have great experience to learn this, to act this, to connect with this. And finally, lots of thanks to all the members virtually or physically presented and connected to us, and thanks to all.
All of you are kindly invited for a lunch which is organized at the guest house.
Thank you, sir. I request. Yes, sir.
आप सब लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और मैं एक शब्द में इस पूरी घटना का जो 2 दिनों से हम लोग यहाँ कर रहे हैं, इट वाज जस्ट मार्वेलस, जस्ट मार्वेलस। और इसके साथ एक निवेदन मैं इस विश्वविद्यालय के लिए करना चाहता हूँ। कुलपति महोदय हैं यहाँ और आपकी दृष्टि में लाना चाहता हूँ। आज प्रातः काल हम लोग गणवरिया महाविहार देखने गए थे। तो मैं इस विश्वविद्यालय से ये निवेदन करता हूँ कि गणवरिया शब्द को कोई जानता नहीं है। हम समझते हैं यहाँ भी नहीं कोई जानता होगा, और लोग भी नहीं जानते हैं जिन लोगों ने इतिहास और पुरातत्व पर कार्य किया, जिन्होंने यहाँ का वो लिखा, रिपोर्ट लिखा, उन्होंने भी नहीं जाना, न कहीं उल्लिखित है। लेकिन मैं आपको इस दृष्टि से इसकी ओर आकृष्ट कर रहा हूँ। गणवरिया का अर्थ है गण नहीं, गण। गणवरिया, वरिया मतलब वर्य, वरिया। गणों में जो सबसे श्रेष्ठ था, उस श्रेष्ठ गण ने उस संघाराम को निर्मित किया है, जो आज एकदम बेकार ऐसे पड़ा हुआ है। वहाँ कोई जाने वाला, कोई वहाँ रिसीव करने वाला नहीं है। दरवाजे खोलिए, घूम आइए, जो चाहिए चार ईटा उठा के ले आइए। यह विश्वविद्यालय उसको समर्थित करे। और गणवरीय का अर्थ है भगवान बुद्ध की जो गण शाखा है, शाक्य। विभिन्न ग्रंथों में आया है कि शाक्य गणों में सर्वश्रेष्ठ थे, इसलिए इसका नाम गणवरीय। श्रेष्ठ शाक्यों ने इस महाविहार का निर्माण कराया था। ये बड़े ही गौरव की बात होगी। हमारा यह विश्वविद्यालय उसको अंगीभूत करे, उसके प्रति कुछ कार्य करे और उसको आगे बढ़ाने में सहयोग करे। ये मेरा निवेदन है, क्योंकि इतिहास पुरातत्व में ये सब कार्य होने चाहिए कि चीजें जो छूटी हुई हैं उनको हम महत्ता प्रदान करें। बहुत धन्यवाद आपको।
Now, after national anthem, we will proceed.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा, उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तब शुभ नामे जागे, तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तब जय गाथा। जन गए मंगलदायक, जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे। भारत माता की, भारत वीरों की।